Welcome everyone to today's webinar. We are really excited to share with you the new 4.0 release of the Transparency Catalog that has been coming your way for quite some time. You'll see that we've packed a lot of content into this new release. Some of the functionality will seem to you like, geez, hasn't it been there all this time? And that's because we've had so much content. We've just now continued to make it easier to use. And that's really the focus of this release, is about amassing the data that we have, but continuing to make it easier to use and more understandable. So for those of you who are not familiar with Sustainable Minds or the Transparency Catalog, this is our quick agenda. This is a 30-minute webinar. I'm Terry Swack. I'm the founder and CEO. I started the company in 2007. So we've been in the making life cycle assessment and material health simple and understandable business for a very long time. Then I'm going to talk about the 4.0 release, and then we're going to do a demo. And as you have questions, please put them in the questions panel, and we'll take them at the end. So getting started, for those of you who are meeting Sustainable Minds for the first time, the company is a business-to-business provider of environmental product transparency, cloud applications, and services. So I started the company, as I said, in 2007 with the mission, which has never changed, to operationalize environmental performance into mainstream manufacturing and product development to drive revenue and growth through greener, now healthier product innovation. So the insight is economy still needs to grow, innovation still needs to happen. Greener and healthier products is the best innovation driver to drive growth. It's actually the only way that is sustainable to drive growth. And that's what our company has always been about, is delivering knowledge and tools to the industry, manufacturers, and now design professionals, construction professionals like yourselves, to have access to smarter tools, better data, so that you can make better decisions. We are the only end-to-end product transparency solutions provider in the market today. It's a system, right? If you start at the end, for manufacturers to produce environmental product declarations, there has to be a PCR for that product category. It needs to be developed by a legitimate program operator. More on that in the coming weeks. We're actually releasing our next version of our technical program, now aligned with the new ACLCA PCR open standard. So we're a program operator, we develop PCRs, we publish environmental product declarations, but we feel to be technical experts in this field, we have to be delivering life cycle assessment and material ingredient disclosure services, carbon accounting. So a lot of our business is actually service delivery to manufacturers to help them publish EPDs, doing LCAs to help publish EPDs. But again, those are efforts that manufacturers make to help market their products so that you can find better products to put in your better buildings. And so the Transparency Catalog is where everything ends up and where you hit the interface with the manufacturer. And that's why we are continually educating both manufacturers and the building construction industry about the technical challenges and opportunities of disclosure, and then why manufacturers need to integrate product transparency into product marketing, because that's how people make decisions now, and why it's important for the building construction industry to select and specify products with transparency information, because those manufacturers are making an effort, spending a lot of time, a lot of money, taking a lot of risk, and they're measuring what matters and they're sharing it with the market. So that's who we are, and that's what motivates us to do what we do. And we've seen, since we launched the catalog in 2016, when there were only 350 manufacturers anywhere in the world selling products into the North American market who had invested in transparency, so that's 350. We've seen transparency go from kind of an idea that folks who drafted LEED version 4 back in 2012 had to being a thing that people started to try to do in 2014, 2015, to really accelerating through 2017, through 2020, when tons and tons of EPDs and material ingredient disclosures were published. And really, we've seen it go from this idea to becoming a specification, and now in some instances, a construction requirement, particularly now in public procurement programs that we're seeing at the state level and now the federal government level. So we actually don't talk about green building anymore. It's all about performance. Product transparency are two performance metrics, environmental performance and material health, that people are using to make decisions about products. And so on the manufacturer side, the primary reason for them to do LCAs and material ingredient assessments is for them to gain their own insights into the impacts and the potential risks and hazards that their products present, and to make them better. It's optional to publicly disclose the results. The key purpose is for them to take responsibility, be accountable, and make their products better. So given that they are disclosing that information, and now there are so many doing it, actual performance matters. Improved performance is better than less improved performance. And so that's where we're really focusing and continue to grow our services and our tools, is to help make that information about improved performance more understandable and easier for you to find, and then again to reward those manufacturers who are actually making higher performing, greener and healthier products. So we're very, very focused on high performance, low embodied carbon buildings. So that's kind of the subset of performance in the environmental side, is really looking at embodied carbon. And the transparency catalog has always been designed as a specification tool. We've always known, products don't get into projects unless they get into the specifications, and the design and construction industry knows how to find products and materials using MasterFormat. But what's really new in this release is, up until now, from 2016, you never needed an account. There wasn't even the ability to set up an account. It's always been free to use. It's still free to use. The only reason we're now introducing getting a free account is the technical requirement of the internet for you now to be able to save products and export them. We have to set up an account for you, so it saves to your account so you can get that content. That's the only reason why we have introduced accounts, because technically, to deliver the capabilities, that's what needs to happen to continue to deliver the functionality. So it's still free to use. You don't have to set up an account. The account is only if you want to export products, and we're going to get into that, but it's still free to use. Nothing has changed other than there's more functionality and there's continually more content. We update the catalog monthly by surveying all the program operator websites for new EPDs. We have APIs with the HPDC, Declare, Cradle to Cradle, also the EC3 tool. We'll talk more about that. So the data is continually updating. It's automatically updating, but our data team curates that data to not only just add a link to that disclosure, but to organize it by MasterFormat, pull out the results so that those are available in the interface, not just the fact that there is a disclosure, but what is the disclosure reporting, so that it makes it easier to use that information to make decisions. But what you can see is that, again, since 2016, 350 manufacturers. Now there's almost 2,000 manufacturers and industry associations investing in transparency, 27 master format divisions, over 1,250 sections. We only add a master format section if there's content there. We didn't go and install the entire master format numbering system. That wouldn't be useful. It's not a good user experience to have no results. We only add a master format section when there's content there. So, you're going to see that every month there's more and more brands are continually creating EPDs and material ingredient disclosures. But really the driver for this release and all the releases going forward is really the urgency that exists now. It was kind of a journey when it started and things kind of advanced. And now there's real urgency to transform the built environment. And to do that, you need not only better data, you need new workflows. All of you are working in your own organizations to figure out how do you change the way you select products, specify them, send requirements to educate your owner, your clients about requirements for their buildings, and then actually see it through to get those projects built. It's challenging. Honestly, I don't know how buildings get built. It's so complicated. So thank you for doing what you do. We're going to keep working to get you better data, new tools, and help you deliver and develop new workflows that will enable you to execute on this urgency to transform the built environment. So for those of you who might have read the press release, this is a quote from me. And again, just highlighting that it's really critical to make the information easy to use, not just easy to find. So we've always been doing both, but we're really focusing on the use, continuing to go forward. And we're really excited by all of the organizations across the industry, really big ones, really small ones, who are using the transparency catalog every day to save time, share and reuse knowledge, achieve climate material goals, and even reduce cost to deliver and win business, actually showing the expertise and the knowledge to be able to deliver high performance, low embodied carbon buildings. Part of the way we make the information more useful, and I just alluded to this, is that we don't just take a link from an API or a link to an EPD and put it in the interface. We're always looking for ways to not only expose the data in the disclosure, but to make it possible to find higher performing products based on what's in the disclosure, not just that there is one. So we announced this when the HPD announced their 2.3 release, that we will be implementing filters for the additional lists included in the HPD now in 2.3. And the first one we'll be implementing is the Perkins & Will precautionary list free filter. So folks at Perkins & Will and anyone else who wants to find products that conform with that set of material ingredients, you'll be able to filter by that precautionary list and find products with HPDs that have no chemicals that are on that list. And that'll be coming next month. It took the HPDC a little bit of time to get their API up to speed with that 2.3 release, but there are now hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of HPD 2.3s, and we're excited to bring that to the market. So really the focus of this release today is being able to find the lowest embodied carbon materials in every master format section, and so that you can start building your own internal specification and basic design digital libraries. And again, this is about making the information easy to use or actionable. You know, you're not just coming to the catalog to find stuff. You can now find it and export it, take it out, put it in your own projects, put it in your own spreadsheets, put it in your own digital libraries, and really start to develop new workflows. And this excellent quote from the folks at Malum can attest to that, about how their ability to export this data fits with the tools they've already built and how it enables better communication in both directions, from design team to specifier and back over the course of the project. So that is a great insight. We work very closely with folks in the industry to learn about what you're trying to do, the challenges that you face, and that's what informs what we build. So in this release, again, the highlights, and there's actually a lot of stuff behind the scenes too, a lot of highly improved performance. I think you'll see the performance of the catalog is pretty snappy. There were a lot of security enhancements we have put in place, largely because there's so much content in the transparency catalog that's freely available. The catalog was getting a lot of scraping, let's call it scraping, things that came and took content out. So that's actually why the See All Brands that used to be on the front page is now on its own page behind the login. It was literally to just protect the content because it was getting scraped so often. So that was, again, you know, not any reason to try to get you to make an account, just because we're trying to make it a better user experience and also to just make the catalog more secure. So free accounts to export selected products to a spreadsheet. I'll show you everything that's in that spreadsheet. And the strategy is that the link to the manufacturer's listing is also in the spreadsheet, because then you always have a direct link back to live data and the ability to contact the manufacturer for more assistance, for spec samples, pricing, anything you need. But even now, if you export, it's not data that's dead. It's still data that's live. You can always go back to where you find it, to where you found it in the first place. We've implemented these two new filters, the EC3 embodied carbon filters, also optimized EPD filter. We already have a way for you to find optimized EPDs through the lead optimization credit filter, but we added optimized EPDs into the type of EPD list, because you may be working on a project where you want to find manufacturers who are really working to optimize their products, but it's not necessarily a lead project. So now we've given you another way to find optimized EPDs. The contact forms have been getting rolled out, and manufacturers getting very explicit about how they want to be able to help you and get you access to the information that'll help you help yourselves, get sample, specification, quote, and submittal help. And also we're starting to roll out a new framework for adding more access to sustainability documentation from the manufacturer's listing. And we are very interested in the common materials framework and how the industry has organized all of that information into those buckets. That's the term that they use. And in fact, we presented at a Mindful Materials event at NeoCon in June, talking about how we would be supporting the common materials framework. And this is what we showed, and I'll show you later. But I want to reinforce that we want to make it easy for manufacturers. We don't believe that manufacturers should be managing a lot of content someplace that isn't their own websites. So you'll see in the design of the listing that we always drive you back to the product pages on the manufacturer's website to find the more detailed content. We're going to be sending you back to the manufacturer's website for more sustainability documentation, or we'll send you to the Mindful Materials site to get the documentation in addition to EPDs and material ingredient disclosures if the manufacturer has populated additional content there. So there's going to be a bunch of different ways manufacturers can provide you access to that additional content without having to add it to the transparency catalog beyond just working with us to link to the right location. So for those of you familiar with the catalog, this is what a listing for manufacturer looks like. What's new is we've added this export products button and the check boxes. You'll be able to, or you can, it's not in the future, you can do it now. You can go to a manufacturer's listing, or you can go to search results, select the products that you're interested in, export them to a spreadsheet, and you're ready to go. The contact form, again, I've mentioned that manufacturers work pretty closely with us to figure out what resources they want to provide to you when you need help. So many of them have an actual person's name and phone number to call. And then there are additional resources about dealer locators, more sustainability content, sourcing samples. But on the right side of the page, if you would like for them to contact you directly, you can put that information in there, and that is what they'll do. But you have your choice. You can take the action to contact them, or they'll contact you. And here now, again, for those of you who use the catalog, you're familiar with the EC3 quintiles that we added when the EC3 tool launched. We were their first data partner. We wanted to make their results simpler to understand and easier to use. And so that's what these quintile results are. And the link takes you right into the digital EPD in the EC3 tool. We do have a cross-linking relationship. So if you go to any of the manufacturer's EPDs or even the manufacturer's page in the EC3 tool, it will take you back to their listing in the transparency catalog, essentially to close the last mile if you want to find more content from the manufacturer and contact them for everything we've just talked about. So the new filter that we've added is now simply right there. It's a new filter. You can say, hey, show me everything in this MasterFormat section, or any other brands or rating system filters you've already used, and say, I want this additional filter, or you can just use this filter, and you're going to see just the ones that are in the 20th percentile. And then if you're working on building your library or database, you can select them. You can select all, hit export, and there you have it. It's exported to the database. Here's the optimization filter. Here's what we already have. So in the rating systems filter, we pulled out the different optimization credits. You could find optimized EPDs by clicking the EPD optimization credit. Well, it turns out that in the manufacturer's analytics dashboard, that optimization credit filter is the most used filter of all the credit options that people filter on. And so because of that, we decided to add the optimized EPD option to the types of EPDs so that either way, you can find optimized EPDs. I think there are a few manufacturers on the call, but for those of you who are in the building industry, part of the benefit for manufacturers to have a subscription to the transparency catalog, because that's how we make money, they pay us, they get access to an analytics dashboard where we never ever disclose user information. And remember, we never had user information up until a couple months ago. What we're doing is we're sharing with them all of the analytics of the entire catalog. So they not only get to see how frequently people are searching their MasterFormat sections their products are in, how frequently they're showing up in search results, how frequently downloads from their listings are happening. They're now going to be able to see how frequently their products are getting exported. So what we're showing manufacturers is the action that people are taking around their products and how frequently people are coming looking for products in that MasterFormat section. This is now how we're adding the additional listing content. So the filtering and sorting and focus will always be on transparency. And then we'll list the other types of sustainability documentation and tell you where to go get it. So you're either going to go to the manufacturer's product page that is linked right there, or you're going to go to a downloads page on their site, or you're going to go to the mindful materials page that they have in that site. So organized by transparency, sustainability, and what they have today is any other content that they want to share with the market. So I'm going to jump to the demo just so people can see this live. We're coming to the end of our time. So this is how easy it is to do. So let's just say you're working on a project in Division 7, and you don't even have to pick a section now. You can. Let's pick one anyway. You want to look at what's in 0720. And you can see 0720 is a massive section. There's 120 brands and 669 products. Notice I haven't logged in yet. So to sign up for an account, it's super easy. We just ask for your name, your little bit of information about your organization, where you're located, the services you deliver, and set up a password. We track this information to help us understand who's using the catalog, what kinds of services you're delivering, again, to help us figure out what to build and how to prioritize the roadmap. So here we are back in our search results. And let's say I just want to see in all of Division 7 how many products, sorry, in Division 0720, how many products are in the 20th percentile. So that means by default they have EPDs and they're in the 20th percentile. Well, look, it's a lot. There's 24 brands and 73 products. So that's pretty good. So let's say I'm doing my research. I want to filter by some other things. I want to see who else, you know, if those products also can contribute to material ingredient disclosures, credits, and I'm going to use that filter. Now it filters it down to 5 brands and 37 products. And I might say, you know what, I'm not going to do all the research now. What I really just want to do is select all for export. And now when I hit export products, it's going to make me log in. So I already have an account. I'm going to select all for export, export my products, and here in the spreadsheet. And I open the spreadsheet in numbers. I use a Mac. It actually just looks better than when you open it in Excel. But you can see that the columns in the spreadsheet are the name of the manufacturers, the URL to their transparency catalog listing, the MasterFormat section number, the name of the product, the link to the product page on the manufacturer's website, or to the material health overview or EPD in the transparency catalog. And then here's all the content that's in the product table. It has an EPD, what type it is, the scope, the EC3 embodied carbon, the expiration date, if they have HPDs, what version, the scope and disclosure results, expiration date, declare labels, et cetera, et cetera. And then that's it. That's what you can do today. And I invite all of you to go to the transparency catalog, filter search, use the new filters, and go ahead, set up an account and start exporting products. That's what I've got for you today. I thank you all for your time and attention. And there's a way to leave questions or comments on your way out, and we will follow up with you for any of those that you leave then. So have a great day.